Bubble blowers around the world are bound to be in awe of a 37-year-old Londoner who's blown the world's largest bubble. It's taken Sam Heath 20 years to burst the previous Guinness record of 105.4 cubic feet. Let's take you live now to Herefordshire and speak to Sam Heath, who's otherwise known as Samsam Bubbleman. How are you doing?
Good afternoon. I'm well, thank you very much. How are you?
Yeah, not bad. It's all in the mixture and the movement, I'm told.
Yeah, I think, you know, like anything, like someone who plays tennis and becomes very good at tennis, you get used to moving and creating the bubbles. And one of the things I particularly love about bubbling outside is that kind of creation of bubble. You know, it's a beautiful thing. It's quite therapeutic, actually.
Yeah.
And there's so many things you can do with a bubble. You can chop them in half like that. You can catch them on the top and then blow a bubble in a bubble like that. Or you can spin right round. This is called a donut. Oh, popped on me. I burst my own bubble. Or a bubble rainbow. So, you know, there's a lot of different things you can do with the bubble.
And you can
enclose, I was going to show you a couple if you like.
I read.
That's right, I hold the Guinness World Record for the most amount of people inside a giant bubble. And that I did in 2007 at the Science Museum, where we put 50 people inside a giant bubble.
Yeah. And what is, I mean, without giving away the mixture, it's taken you a long time to work on it. What's the science behind it?
Well, you know, I mean, I could tell you a few interesting things if you like, but yeah, absolutely, the mixture is absolutely top secret. Somebody did suggest that we might put yeast in it because that helps the bubbles to rise, but no, in fact not. So let me show you something that you might like. Yeah, okay, so I'm going to use this. This is my bubble brolly. And one of the parts of my job as a bubbleologist is to show the many things that can be done with bubbles that don't involve popping them. And this is one of them. This is my bubble brolly trick. I'm going to show you one more as well. Because you see, the secret with bubble making really is in the solution. So if you've got a good mix, you can make bubbles with your hands. And then you can split them apart, put them back together again. You know, every bubble I've ever had's burst.
I tell you what, I mean, it is, you're absolutely right. So, I mean, never mind doing it, just watching it's quite hypnotic. Where does this interest,
thank you very much.
Where does it come from? How did you get into it?
Well, I first started making bubbles way back in 1989. It's actually my 20th bubble birthday this year. And it really happened from just watching a single bubble float across the field. And I had a kind of bubble epiphany where I really just looked at this thing and thought, God, you know what, they really are amazing. I mean, I'm going to make you some big bubbles as well. And then it became a hobby. And it stayed as a hobby for about 11 years until 2000 when I set up Bubble Inc., Bubble Incorporated, with the aim of supplying whatever people needed from their bubbles. So we sell bubble making equipment, and we also perform for people around the world, putting people in bubbles and making square bubbles. And we've performed for the likes of the royal family of Dubai, and we performed for Paul McCartney. And we're just about to do a gig for a very, very famous lady authoress whose name I'm not actually allowed to mention, but you may know who she is. You may have read
she write about
a
a boy wizard by any chance?
I cannot say anymore.
Sam, just one final thought. The current record is, let me just check my figures, 105.4 cubic feet. You've managed to get, what, 60 people inside a bubble? What's the upper limit?
50.
50. How big is it possible, theoretically at least, to go?
You know, there isn't really a perfect mix. People often ask me if there's a perfect solution, and it's not really the case. You know, I mean, this is the result of my 20 years of experiments in bubbles. We call it Super Pop, and we do sell it, but we don't give away the recipe. And much in the same way as would Willy Wonka give away the recipe for his chocolate. And and the mix is really crucially important. But can you repeat the question? I can't quite remember.
No, we got the gist of the answer. Sam, we appreciate your thoughts and your bubble making today. Thanks very much indeed. Now,
Happy bubble.